So he's sizing her up like, okay, I could take her. She little. She a little girl. Hey y'all, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Janae, if you didn't know, and today's video is another true crime episode. So if you're ready, let's go. Alright y'all, so it is literally the booty butt crack of the morning because it's not even dawn yet. Like, it's just the morning time. So y'all getting me in all of my morning glory natural face with a wig. Well, the wig ain't natural, but what's under here? Anyway, so yeah, we don't have wine today, but we do have coffee. And look at this cup that I got from Burlington yesterday. It is the cutest thing in the freaking world right now. Y'all see the little ghostly figures on there? This is so cute, and y'all know the vibes when it comes to me. Spooky but make it pink. We love that. So yeah, y'all know I had to grab it. But anyways, if you watched last week's video, then you know that I plan to go from the rooter to the tutor of America. So from Alaska to Wyoming in alphabetical order. And today's video, we are headed straight over from Alabama to Alaska. And yeah, let's just go ahead and get right into it. So it's April 22nd, 1985 in Anchorage, Alaska, where an elderly couple, 70-year-old Ann Fascio, her husband, 69-year-old Tom Fascio, along with Ann's 75-year-old sister, Amelia Elliott, were pretty much just enjoying a regular Alaska evening. And Amelia lived with the couple, so everything was literally as it usually was. Tom was in the kitchen, minding his business, eating his dinner, or getting ready to eat his dinner. Ann was in the living room doing whatever it is that she was doing. And since she's an older lady, I'm just going to assume she was either reading a book, crocheting, knitting, or watching TV. And that's no shade to the old people who crochet, because I crochet. Now knitting, that's a different story. I cannot knit to save my life. But crochet, baby, I got you. So anyways, Tom and Ann was doing their thing, and Amelia was sitting out on the patio enjoying some fresh Alaskan air and probably some very good views, because have y'all seen pictures of Alaska? Anyway, it is at this time when a knock comes on the kitchen door, and since Tom was in the kitchen getting ready to eat his dinner, he is the one who answered the door. And this is when he is approached by a young lady who explained that she's having car trouble and she wanted to use his phone. And remember, this is 1985, so this is pre-cell phone. If you broke down in your car, you either had to find a payphone, and if you found a payphone and didn't have no money to put on it, you better call 1-800-COLLECT, because, and I think this is even before 1-800-COLLECT, because it's 1985. I don't know when 1-800-COLLECT came out, but if you didn't have a dime or a quarter, or however much it costs in 1985 to use to use a payphone, then you had to go find somebody who had a phone and hope that they let you in their house. And Tom, being a grown-ass man, saw no threat in letting this young lady, who appeared to be a teenager, use his phone to call for help. However, he was sadly mistaken, because once this young lady entered his home, she pulled out a .22 caliber gun and pointed it directly at Tom. Now, like I said, Tom is a grown-ass man. He's 70 years old, but he's able-bodied, he's moving, he think he could take this girl. So he's sizing her up like, okay, I could take her. She little. She a little girl. So he attempts to get this gun away from this intruder, but during the struggle, the gun goes off. And in hearing this struggle and scuffle and a gun going off, Ann rushes from the living room to the kitchen to help her husband. But once Ann makes it to the kitchen, that is when another figure comes running through that kitchen door. And it is clear that this person is with their attacker, because the person who rushed in is a masked wearing man, and he has a .357 Magnum revolver. So now it's 2 on 2, but these two are fairly young and they have guns, and these two are relatively older and they are unarmed. So it's no longer a fight at this point. So the robbers easily gain control of Ann and Tom, and they lead them into the living room where the masked robber demands money. Now, Tom, he know he don't have like a physical fighting chance, but he figured, listen, if I give this man what he want, if I give these people what they want, hopefully they could just leave my house. So Tom hands the robbers $300, hoping that this will get them out of his face. But that's not what happened. So the masked man actually keeps watch over Tom and Ann, and he tells the girl to go search the rest of the house for any other valuables, any other money, or anything else they could take with them. And while the girl is searching the house, instead of finding valuables and other money, she ends up stumbling across Amelia, who is still sitting on the front porch. And she directs her at gunpoint to go back inside to the living room where Tom and Anna are with the masked driver. Now, there had been questions about how Amelia didn't hear none of this going on. And I initially had that thought as well. Like, girl, how you don't hear all of this commotion going on in your house? But then I realized she's sitting outside. She's 75 years old, so her hearing may not be the best. It could be, but you know, she ain't hear nothing. So I'm just guessing that it wasn't. And she lives in an area where it's not uncommon to hear gunshots, you know, just randomly from people hunting or whatever it is that they're doing, you know, I don't know. So even if she did hear it, she might not have thought much of it. Like, oh, okay, you know. So cut Amelia some slack, okay? So now that all three residents of the house are under control, the two robbers switch places. So now the three of them are being detained by the girl robber, while the boy robber goes to search the house for something to tie them up with. But he couldn't find nothing, so all he really had was some neckties that Tom had. So he comes back downstairs and he tries to tie them up with these neckties. But in the process of tying their victims up, and she gets sick. I don't know if it's anxiety, a panic attack, or what, but they thought she was about to have a heart attack. So the boy robber told the girl to take Ann somewhere else, and she directed Ann to go upstairs and get away from the other two. So she's upstairs with Ann. He's downstairs trying to tie up Amelia and Tom, and then he hears a gunshot, and the boy robber runs upstairs to see what's going on. And it's at this point where he sees Ann kneeled over at the foot of her bed praying, and the girl robber is laughing. She laughing. And the reason that she laughing is because she missed the shot. And if that don't say crazy psycho bitch, I don't know what does. Now, while Mr. Robber Man is upstairs trying to see what his counterpart is doing, Mr. Fascio takes this opportunity to try to untie himself. Unfortunately, he's caught when Mr. Robber Man runs back downstairs before he's able to get himself loose. So I guess at this point, Mr. Robber is trying to tie them back up when the girl robber is heard yelling at Ann to shut up, bitch, right before another gunshot is heard. Unfortunately, this time, Miss Robber Girl did not miss, and she ended up shooting Ann at point blank range, killing her instantly. And immediately after shooting and killing Ann, the girl goes back downstairs to join her accomplice, where she immediately shoots Amelia as well. Now, by this time, Tom must be in hysterics, whether that's outwardly and they can see it, or it's inwardly and he's freaking out. Because not only did he just hear his wife get shot, he also just watched his sister-in-law get shot. So he must know that they're not going to spare his life at this point. But they don't kill him right away because they want some more money. So they demand more money from Tom, and he gives them another $400 before he too is shot and killed alongside Amelia. So the robbers leave the house with roughly $700, leaving their victims there to be found by whoever. Now, not much is known about the discovery of Amelia and Tom, and there's also not a lot known about the investigation afterwards. But what is known is that it took roughly 2 months before the suspects were arrested. And in those 2 months, I'm pretty sure that the city of Anchorage was not only just devastated by their loss, but also fearful that there was some crazed murderer, psycho killer out on the loose, and that they could potentially be next. I mean, they had no idea who had done this for 2 months. That's scary. And I'm pretty sure that the people and the police thought that they was looking for some grown-ass experienced criminal. But they would get the shock of their lives when on June 10th, 1985, a 14-year-old girl named Winona Fletcher, I almost said right, Winona Fletcher was arrested. They draws was shocked because there was no way that a 14-year-old girl just committed a triple homicide like this. But as we know, she was not alone when she committed this crime. And once they got her into the interrogation room, being a 14-year-old child, she folded like origami and gave up her accomplice, which they already knew who her accomplice was, but they just wanted to see if she was going to tell him because he was already in jail on unrelated burglary charges. And y'all already know how this go. He couldn't shut the fuck up while he was in jail, and he was bragging about the murders. And that's how they caught Winona. And the accomplice is 19-year-old Cordell Boyd. So this is what happened. He burglarized somebody else. He got caught, went to jail on the burglary charges, and once he got in jail, he tried to be hard because, you know, he only 19. And once he got into jail, he started bragging that, yeah, I'm in here on burglary charges, but I'm a whole ass thug out here in these streets and I killed 3 people, right? So he's bragging about these murders. And meanwhile, the police are trying to figure this out. And in an effort to figure it out and entice people to come forward with more information, there's a $50,000 reward that is offered for any information about this triple homicide. So somehow one of the little jail people get a hold of this information and realize there's a $50,000 reward and I want that, and he over here bragging about these murders. I'm getting my money. So he snitched quick. And that's how the police was able to get recordings of Cordell talking about the murders. And in these recordings, he mentions Winona. And so that's when they picked up Winona, and she confirmed that, yeah, it was me and Cordell, we did this. Now, like I said, Cordell was already in jail, so they couldn't rearrest him, but they definitely did slap him with those 3 homicide charges on top of the burglary charge that he was already in jail for. So now Winona and Cordell are both in jail for the triple homicide and the burglary of the Fascio household. And initially, once she was arrested, all that the Anchorage people knew was that this was a 14-year-old girl. They didn't have a name because they didn't know if they was going to try Winona as an adult or as a minor. But they did decide to charge her as an adult. And that's when all of her information was released. And this is when we learn a little bit more about her past, her growing up, and all of that. It's not a lot known about Cordell and what he had going on when he was growing up, his past, his upbringing, none of that. All we know is he was 19 years old when he committed this crime. That's it. But as far as Winona, she had always had a hard knock life, okay? She was born to a mom who struggled with alcoholism. I don't know about her dad. He probably just wasn't even in the picture at all. And it was also said that they moved around a lot while Winona was growing up. So she already had a very unstable foundation on top of having an alcoholic mother. And it was also said that she was subjected to SA, physical and emotional abuse. And on top of all of that, once Winona turned 14 years old, her mom ended up getting evicted from another place. And I don't know what happened this time, but wherever her mama went, Winona didn't go. Either she wasn't invited or she didn't want to go. But nonetheless, Winona ended up homeless. And this is how she began prostituting in Alaska. Which sounds so crazy to me because I feel like there should not be prostitutes in Alaska. Like, what? I don't know. But anyways, I really wouldn't be surprised if her selling herself for money wasn't Cordell's idea, because she had started seeing Cordell when she was 13 years old. Now he was 18 and that's just nasty, but nonetheless, that's what happened. And so I wouldn't be surprised if he was like her pimp, you know? So yeah, that relationship and all of that happened is what led us up to where we are now, where Winona and Cordell are locked up and charged up. And immediately Cordell cops a plea for reduced charges. And in addition to getting reduced charges, he also has to testify at Winona's waiver hearing, her trial, and her sentencing. Now, the waiver hearing is to see if they are going to charge her as a child or as an adult. So at the waiver hearing, Cordell testifies and he says that it was Winona's idea to kill the victims. And this is a part of the reason why they decided to try her as an adult. Because, girl, at 14 years old, this is your plan? This is you? You wasn't coerced? You wasn't acting under the influence of your grown-ass boyfriend? And because of this, they decided that she could not be rehabilitated by the time she was 20 years old. And so they slapped those adult charges. So instead of going to trial, Winona's team decided that she would plead no contest on the 2 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of second-degree murder. And in 1986, when Winona was just 15 years old, she was sentenced to 135 years in prison. And this sentence made her the youngest person in Alaska to ever be tried and convicted as an adult for murder. But that's not it, because just one day after she was sentenced, Cordell ran it back and he said that he had lied during her juvenile waiver hearing. And he said that it was not Winona's idea to kill the victims. He said that he told her to do it. And he said that the reason that he lied was because he thought that they was going to convict her, or he thought that they was going to try her as a minor. So he didn't think she would get that much time. And he wanted, like, you know, some time shaved off for him. He was really just trying to look out for both of them, really, is what he was trying to say. But it didn't work out that way. And when he found out that she was sentenced to 135 years, he was like, oh my gosh, girl, I'm so sorry. He tried to backtrack. But in the end, it really didn't work out for neither one of them, because she was sentenced to 135 years and he was sentenced to 99 years. So, ain't neither one of them getting out of jail. But Winona might have a chance at getting her sentence reduced, because in 2023 the Alaska Court of Appeals decided that the courts should consider a child's age, circumstance, and development, or lack thereof development, before sentencing them to life without parole. And this decision was made to be retroactive, so it would apply to Winona. So her sentence could be reconsidered. Now I don't know what they would reconsider it to. Maybe she would actually get a chance at parole, I don't know. So, but yeah, she does have some type of chance. I don't know if it's a good chance or a bad one, but she does have a chance nonetheless. And just a little side note, I read in an article that Winona had a baby while she was in jail in 1987. Like, what? Okay, so let me tell y'all what it said. It said that she had got a visit from a friend, and while conjugal visits were not supposed to be a thing, it said that the guards really rarely paid attention to the inmates while they was doing their little visitations or whatever, and they probably had got it in the bathroom or something like that, and Winona turned up pregnant, and she had a baby in 1987. And then, not only did she have this baby in 1987, she turned around and had another baby a couple years later. Like, where are the guards? But yeah, I just thought that was crazy. She had 2 kids while she was in prison. Crazy. And then Cordell, he ended up getting one of them prison pen pals. And then in 2018, he married a woman named Diane. So, you know, I guess they still kind of living life. I don't know, having babies, getting married, shit like that. Anyways, y'all, that is all I have for today's video. Thank you all so very much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you liked this video. And I will see you guys next time when we are covering a case from Arizona. But I gotta go to work now, so I will see you all in the next one. Along with, wait, what's her last name? Elliott. Like Missy. It's not like Ann was over for dinner or nothing like that. No, this is Tom and, wait, Ann is the sister. Ann is not the sister. Damn. Okay. Right? So he attempts to get this gun away from this intruder. So he, who is holding a .357 Magnum revolver. Ooh, excuse me. Mr. Fascio takes the... But what is known is that it took... Oh, why my mouth do that Bobby Brown thing? Ugh. No. But what is known is that it took roughly 2 months before the suspects were arrested. Now, so it's just... What? And I'm pretty sure that the police and probably half of the town thought that they was looking for some experienced, girl, what are you trying to say? And I'm pretty sure that yes, a 14-year-old girl, they draws was shocked. Do you hear? But as we know, she, ooh, that morning voice is getting you, girl. And that's how the police was able to get recordings of Cordell confessing, not confessing, he was snitching. No, he was bragging, no talking.